Let me tell you, as soon as this is over with Iran, as soon as it's over, you're going to see gasoline and oil drop like a rock.
Oil is pushing back toward $105 as the market prices in war risk and Hormuz disruption, even while Trump keeps insisting prices will collapse once the conflict ends. The US has been effectively forced to loan 53.3 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to soften the Iran war price shock and stabilize supply expectations. This big move came after Trump rejected Iran's latest offer and as markets grew more anxious that the ceasefire could unravel into renewed fighting.
After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it. I would say the ceasefire is on massive life support, where the doctor walks in and says, "Sir, your loved one has approximately a 1% chance of living."
The Trump administration will reportedly loan 53.3 million barrels of crude from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to energy companies as part of an effort to calm oil markets rattled by the Iran war and Hormuz disruption. US crude from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve will be provided as a loan rather than a straight sale, according to Reuters. The move is widely being seen as an attempt to ease price spikes driven by the Iran conflict and disruption around the Strait of Hormuz. Notably, the reporting frames maritime disruption through Hormuz as part of the broader conflict shock hitting global energy markets. The step is part of a broader coordinated release organized by the International Energy Agency. The IEA plan is aimed at injecting roughly 400 million barrels of oil into global markets, the largest such release in its history. The US share of that release is expected to total 172 million barrels, according to Reuters and related reporting. Trump said on May 11th that oil prices would drop like a rock once the Iran war is over. He made the remark when asked by reporters about suspending the federal gas tax, according to reports on the exchange.
Are you going to suspend the federal gas tax?
Yeah, I'm going to reduce until let me tell you, as soon as this is over with Iran, as soon as it's over, you're going to see gasoline and oil drop like a rock. Going to be dropping down like a rock. I mean, already, look, just on the basis of, things have happened. When it first came about, 20% of the oil came out of Hormuz. That's a lot. But, with time, it's like they go into Texas, they go into Louisiana, they go into Alaska, a lot of Alaska. Alaska is, sort of, it seems like very far away from Asia, but it's actually a relatively short trip by comparison to other locations they have to go to get oil. And they go into Alaska. In fact, our big problem is we're building bigger docking to fill up. But we've become very big on the filling station. We're a big filling station. And what's happening is, when people heard about losing Hormuz, they said, it's genius. They're finding other locations. And some of those people, I spoke to them, companies and countries, some of those people are going to continue to go to Texas. They like it better. They said it's an extra 45 minutes. They like it better. And it's sort of amazing, it found its way. So a lot of people thought oil would go to $250, $300. It's not. I mean, today it's at less than 100. Think of that. Now, when this ends, you're going to see it drop like a rock.
How long are you going to suspend that tax for then?
Till it's appropriate, yeah. It's a small percentage, but it's still money.
Mr. President, do you still believe a diplomatic solution is possible with Iran, or do you only have military options left?
No, I think it's very possible. Look, I've had to deal with them 4 or 5 times. They change their mind. They're very dishonorable people. The leadership. Don't forget it's the 3rd level. The 1st level is gone. They were unreasonable. The 2nd level was more reasonable. The 3rd level, nobody wants to be president, They say, who wants to be president? There's nobody raises their hand, But they change their mind. I've had that in business many times. The mind changes, you call them. These people that you make a deal, and then the next day they send you a document that takes 5 days to get there when it should have been there in 20 minutes. It's a pretty simple document. They will never have a nuclear weapon,
That claim came despite oil having recently surged sharply on fears of prolonged conflict and supply disruption in the Gulf. Oil prices had also jumped after Trump warned that the ceasefire with Iran was effectively on fragile footing, reinforcing market fears of renewed escalation.
For the time being, the ceasefire remains in place?
It's unbelievably weak, I would say. I would call it the weakest right now. After reading that piece of garbage they sent us, I didn't even finish reading it. They said, I'm not going to waste my time reading it. I would say it's one of the weakest right now. It's on life support. They understand these are all medical people. Dr. Oz, life support is not a good thing. Do you agree?
Bad prognostic.
I would say the ceasefire is on massive life support, where the doctor walks in and says, sir, your loved one has approximately a 1% chance of living.
As the fragile ceasefire drags on, Iran is openly asserting that it is ready to confront any new aggression head-on. Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf declared that the IRGC is fully battle-ready if conflict with the United States reignites. Ghalibaf warned that any miscalculation by Iran's enemies would carry serious consequences on the battlefield. Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said, and I quote, "Our armed forces are ready to deliver a well-deserved response to any aggression. Mistaken strategy and mistaken decisions will always lead to mistaken results. The whole world has already figured this out. We are prepared for all options. They will be surprised." Unquote. He also pointed to Iran's long-range missiles and drone arsenal, saying these capabilities were built through years of self-reliance. According to Ghalibaf, there is no alternative but to accept the rights of the Iranian people as laid out in Tehran's 14-point proposal. Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said, and I quote, "There is no alternative but to accept the rights of the Iranian people as laid out in the 14-point proposal. Any other approach will be completely inconclusive, nothing but one failure after another. The longer they drag their feet, the more American taxpayers will pay for it." Unquote. He cautioned that continued pressure on Iran will only produce repeated failures for its adversaries. All of this came as President Donald Trump warned that the ceasefire with Iran is now on life support. President Donald Trump met with his national security team as negotiations with Iran appeared to hit a deadlock. US officials say Trump is now weighing possible new actions against Iran in a bid to increase pressure. The White House had hoped Iran's latest response would show real movement toward a deal to end the conflict. Instead, Tehran reportedly rejected the US proposal, denouncing it as a demand for Iran's surrender.